Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I'm your host Mike. Today I'm at the kitchen table. Thought I'd try something different and talk about a few movies I've gotten here recently. This was let me just jump right into it. I'm going to talk about a few things here. Well, the first one, let me show you. I got this probably last year, maybe a year and a half ago or something, and I showed this in an episode, and I finally got around to watching French Connection 2. So this was a release I probably showed. You may not remember it, but this is a double pack of the French Connection with 1 and 2. Checked out part 2 and with... well, my cat's in the way. Here, kitty. That was Leo, everyone, my cat. But I really checked out part 2, and it was great. There's scenes with... there's no car chases. There's none of the stuff that reminds you of the first one. The first one's a bona fide classic. And I have to really say that part 2 is really underrated. Gene Hackman, the Popeye Doyle character, travels to France, to Paris, or no, actually Marseille, and to track down the drug dealer that was previously, in part 1. And halfway through the movie, he's kind of realizing, it's like, was I set up? Did they just send me over here to get rid of me? The department. All these questions, and there's actually a part, this isn't a spoiler, you pretty much know this, but they capture him, they kidnap him, tie him up, and they shoot him up with heroin, and he basically becomes strung out on heroin for 2 weeks as they keep him prisoner in this house. And it's really, really interesting. It's really not anything like the first one in a way. Some people might not like it, but it's basically a fish out of water story. He's a New York cop in France, trying to work around their traditions and the way they do things and their protocol and stuff like that. But the French detective that he works with, I'm trying to think of what his name. I think it's Bernard Fresson. But yeah, John Frankenheimer takes over for what's his face? William Friedkin. Because William Friedkin would be working on The Exorcist about this time, so he didn't want to do the French Connection 2, which was originally called something else. And it was going to be a vehicle for some other actor. There's a story about it. And what it should have been was just, they could have just made a movie on its own and not been French Connection 2, and it would have been great. But I think they really wanted to use the drug kingpin and the Popeye Doyle character again, and stuff like that. So, but it's a movie with connections of the other one, but not. So yeah, John Frankenheimer does a great job on this. He's got some great camera work and everything. And Fernando Rey plays the drug dealer who basically gets away. He gets out of New York and he travels back to France. And basically all the heroin that they seized in the first movie basically disappeared and everything. So he's back, he basically gets away scot-free. New York still technically wants him. But there's a lot of questions and stuff, and you kind of go a little deeper into the Popeye Doyle character and some of his, flaws and some of his stuff. So it's a really interesting movie, and I was glad to finally sit down and watch it and, have time to watch it for the first time. But it's really good, and it's definitely something to rewatch. It's a great action film. And, yeah, there you go. So yeah, if you got any comments about it, let me know. I mean, it's hard to describe it, but it's a great action film. I mean, it really is. It's a great film. A lot of fun. Now, next up, this is a release from a film company, from a video company that I've never bought anything from. It's actually, I believe it's a Korean company, and this is a very limited edition of a release through Plain Archive. It's a company based in Korea, I believe, and they do some really nice, very expensive Blu-ray releases of some movies, and they don't really do a lot of like classic movies, but they released a couple from Charlie Chaplin, and I got one of them. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, City Lights with Charlie Chaplin. Now, basically, it's basically what the Criterion release was. It's basically all the same bonus features. It's based on the MK2 restorations and stuff done in Italy back, in the early 2000s. But what I really wanted to collect it and just get a sample of Plain Archive, like what makes them so great. But they got some really nice stuff that goes with it. The open up, the inside, the artwork, the photos and everything that's displayed inside. It's really interesting. Everything is in Korean, so I can't read anything on it. But what's cool about the release is you can click on subtitles in English, or you can put on different languages up on screen. They're not burnt in the film like they used to be a long time ago, where you had no choice but to look at the subtitles at the bottom. But really nice. I should probably get my City Lights Criterion edition out and kind of compare them and stuff. But overall, really good, pretty interesting. I got this at a really good price. I started bidding on it on Criterion, and I think the seller was, it was, the seller kind of put it out there like it was used, but when I got it, it was brand new, which was really good. So I really got a good deal on it, and Plain Archive did City Lights, and they did Modern Times. I believe that's the only two they've done. But this one's numbered. It's number 398 of 1,150 copies made, so it's a limited edition, and there you go. Pretty cool. I mean, the collector in me wanted it because I'm such a fan of Charlie Chaplin, and I have DVDs and Blu-rays and all the different stuff releases, which I have an episode on Charlie Chaplin. One of my earliest episodes. If you search back, you'll find it. Where I show off Charlie Chaplin editions. So next up, guys, I want to finally show you Eureka recently released a big deluxe edition of Johnny Guitar, the 1954 Nicholas Ray directed movie, and I have to say, I have a few editions of these on Blu-ray, but this is the new edition. It's really cool. I really like the hard case that it's in. It comes with a pretty lengthy booklet, and it's in there pretty tight. But you got the main artwork, which you really don't have anything on the back. It's just plain yellow, which some Arrow releases turned out like that too. And then you have the Blu-ray release. And then what's really interesting about this, well, let me show the booklet first here. This booklet it's a 58-page booklet, and it's really nice. It's got some great essays, a lot of photos I've never seen before on it. But really nice quality that you expect from Eureka. And then you got the regular Blu-ray case here. and it's got a lot of extras on here. But if you have the previous Olive Films Blu-ray release, hang on to it, because it has its own set of special features on there that's not carried over to this. I think there's only like one thing that I've seen from the other ones. This is my third Blu-ray of Johnny Guitar. It's not like it's my most favorite movie of all time, but it's a great Western. I really like it. It's probably one. It has to be in my top 30 Westerns of all time. I really like this movie. Joan Crawford is great in it. Sterling Hayden is great in it. But what I wanted to show involving Johnny Guitar is the other releases from Olive Films, because each one of them has different stuff on it. Now, this is the first edition I got, and this came out in 2012, and it's this edition. It's got a slipcase and everything, which the only thing it says here is just the Martin Scorsese introduction that's on the Eureka release, and that's about it. I think it maybe has a trailer and stuff, but it really doesn't have much on there. It's pretty bare bones. And then the reason I bought it for the second time was because of all the extras that was on the second one, and it got re-released in 2018, I believe, to this one from Olive Films, which is another nice edition. It's got a nice, another nice slipcase on it. But what's really cool about this edition, though, it's loaded with extra supplements on there. I mean, this is a 4K restoration. The Eureka one might be based on this same restoration, but it's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got about 6 features on here that's not on the other edition. So if you have this one, I would say hang on to it, especially if you're a fan of this movie. Definitely hang on to it, because it's got a lot of good extra stuff on there, because it kind of goes into Nicholas Ray. There's a good documentary on the Eureka edition, but the Olive edition, the previous one has a lot of stuff about the blacklisting and everything that was going on in 1954 and stuff like that. So if you're new to Johnny Guitar, if you've never seen the movie, I definitely recommend just get the Olive Films. It'll definitely be the more cheaper of the two, but film fans out there of this movie, I do recommend upgrading to the Eureka, but hang on to your old edition. The first edition, it's not that special. It just has the one thing on there, but Eureka, really nice looking. About the and the other thing about this is that it's based on the 4K restoration, but it's framed in the aspect ratio of 1:6:6, which I'm not sure if the Olive Films one was 1:6:6. Let me see. Yeah, it's 1:6:6 So yeah, there you go, guys. Johnny Guitar. I love Westerns. 1950s Westerns are really good. Great looking film. This was made for Republic Pictures, I believe. And it was filmed in their process, which was, I can't think of the process, but back in the 50s, everybody had their own, widescreen name process, and everybody had their own color process, gimmicks, if you will, to get people in to watch these movies and not watch TV, because TV was brand new and stuff. So they had to have something to get people into the theaters and stuff. But yeah, 1:6:6. I think previously it was. Let me see, what was on the first release of this. It doesn't really say. But it could be, I can't remember, but it could be in a different aspect ratio. So there you go. You might want to keep all three of them just for all the different variations and stuff on there. So, but there you go, guys. I mean, I know that may not help the newbie to the film. It doesn't really help you with which version is the definitive version, because really those two are definitive. I mean, just the bonus features alone are great documentaries on the film and just what was going on in Hollywood at the time. So there you go, guys. Just pick one of them, and I recommend them all. Johnny Guitar is a great film. Nicholas Ray, he would go on the next year and make Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean, and he would be I think he even broadened his work even more at that point, because that was a big hit, James Dean dying and everything and all that good bad stuff. But Joan Crawford is really good in this movie. I have to admit, I haven't been a fan of Joan Crawford necessarily. I mean, I've seen her films, but it is one of her best performances, I would have to say. I mean, they always talk about it. So there you go, guys. Johnny Guitar. I hope you enjoyed that. And that City Lights Chaplin release. Just some different releases, some different things I've been checking out here lately. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Give me a thumbs up if you did. And comment, let me know what you think about those Johnny Guitar editions and the various, editions and stuff. And tell me what you think about it. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And hit that bell so you're notified when I release a new episode. So until next time, guys, I'm Mike. Be safe out there. Watch good movies. And I will see you again later.